Welcome back to the Save It for Parts channel, where today I've got an interesting little gadget to look at. A while back I did a video on the Flipper Zero, and this is a well-known computer security, penetration testing, and electronic experimentation device. These have been in the news quite a bit. They've actually been banned in certain jurisdictions because they supposedly make hacking or computer crimes or electronic mischief too easy. Anyone can just put a Flipper Zero in their pocket. They can go around messing with car doors or garage doors or alarm systems or all kinds of things. Now, when I reviewed this, I found it to be not really that useful. I didn't find it much more useful than just having a laptop and a basic SDR or some other computer security tools, and that was kind of a controversial opinion. I know there were people in the comments who didn't like my take on the Flipper Zero, but whether you like the Flipper or not, it is becoming part of the computer security culture, and it's a handy little testing gadget that you can just put in your pocket and costs around $200. Now, what if there was a device that costs half of that and not just fits in your pocket, but fits in your wallet? That's where the folks at Kiisu come in, and I may or may not be pronouncing their product name correctly, but the Kisu V4 here is a Flipper alternative. This is basically a credit card or card size PCB with all of the functionality of a Flipper on it. And I would like to thank the folks from Kiisu for sending this to me. They're not paying me to talk about it. They just sent me the device, but I do want to disclose that I got this as a freebie. So let's take a look at this little guy. The V4B package comes in this little 3D printed case with this fun break in case of emergency logo on the front. I don't want to actually break it, so I'm just going to take the tape off. And the Kiisu team does keep costs low by using a lot of 3D printing and leaving the final design up to the end user. So if I want an actual enclosure, not just the bare card, I will have to do some 3D printing for it. So as this mentions, it will do basically all the same things as the Flipper. It'll do sub-gigahertz radio, NFC, RFID, iButton, Bluetooth, IR remotes, GPIO, and it's compatible with Flipper firmware, not just the official firmware, but a lot of the custom firmwares that have been released. And I have played around with some of the custom Flipper firmwares, and this is actually tiny. I mean, this is literally a credit card size. It's a little bit thicker than a credit card. I think the thickest piece on here is the USB-C port, and it runs on this little coin cell battery, although, of course, you can power it with USB-C. It does have a card reader. It has a little tiny screen here. And it has pins for GPIO and other interfaces, which once you start adding that stuff on, of course, it does get thicker. This does come with a lot of those interface pins. We've got a SD card and this cute little Kisu logo or keychain charm thing. That's fun. This is made in Estonia in Eastern Europe, where Kisu means kitten, hence the little cat logo here. We have a getting started QR code, as well as a Discord QR code. And as usual on the internet, click on these at your own risk. Now we have some onboard antenna hardware like this coil here, which is probably the NFC antenna. For the sub-gigahertz stuff, that is a little bit DIY because the last thing in this package is a tiny little SMA connector, and I think I need to solder that onto the board myself. Now there is an internal antenna, this little rain sun thing, and if I want to use the external antenna, I do need to not only solder that on here, which I think I'm capable of, I can solder something that size, but I also need to move one of these little resistors down to the other slot, and that, I don't know if I want to solder anything quite that small. My soldering skills are not quite that level. Likewise, there are some other things we can solder on for expansions. We could add an environmental sensor down here. Again, these solder pads are pretty tiny. I don't know if I'm comfortable doing that. And there are some other solder pads here and there for expansion modules that people can add. Well, let's see what this does right out of the box. It does fire up. The coin cell is powering it. So this is actually an LIR2032, not a CR2032. This is actually a lithium rechargeable coin cell, and you can't use a regular old watch battery. Let's try that again with the SD card in place. All right, we have no database, and we have all of that regular Flipper functionality right on here. Tiny little screen, but again, this thing is just, I am blown away by how small this is. This is literally a couple credit cards in thickness. The Flipper here looks like a kludgy dinosaur. It is relatively huge, and this is not a big piece of equipment, but compared to the Kisu here, yeah, this could be in your pocket, and it's maybe less sneaky than you think. This thing, you can actually put it in a wallet. and put a couple cards on top, and it's invisible. Nobody's going to suspect that you have this thing on you. If you're trying to do security testing of some sort, and maybe you have to pass a pat-down test to see if you have a flipper in your pocket, well, no, I don't have a flipper. I've just got a wallet. And it's actually not hard to use, even though it's so small. The screen is perfectly readable. I can go through all the menu options here. There's even a little character on here, kind of like the flipper has to interact with. And the Kiisu website mentions that it's not necessarily supposed to replace a flipper. It's more of a flipper companion or an easy everyday carry flipper alternative. You're much more likely to be carrying all this functionality on you at any time if it's in your wallet versus an extra thing that you have to put in your pocket. If you find yourself locked out of your apartment or your work because you forgot your key card, or if you have a bunch of key cards that you carry around and you don't want those to fill up your wallet, well, you can replace them with this guy. Now, I did notice a lot of the functionality wants me to upgrade the firmware first. I think there might be issues with sending this internationally with all of the functionality. So again, much like soldering on or adding the expansion modules, adding the firmware that you want is kind of left up to the end user to some extent. There are a few different case options online on websites like printables.com. I'm going with the very basic one, kind of the stock front panel that just protects the board well, not making it too much thicker. I'm not entirely sure how the 3D printed cover is supposed to go on here. Maybe I could use some double stick tape or something to secure it, but it's basically just supposed to cover all the exposed electronics. So I'm going to try using the Momentum firmware, which was recommended on Reddit by one of the Kiisu devs. So I'm going to go ahead and connect over USB, and it shows up as a flipper hisper. So we're going to connect to that. And we've got our interface here saying no database. So I'm also looking at the GitHub page to kind of walk me through how to do this. So we want to select the channel and then install. So this should be downloading onto the Kiisu now. Okay, the first time I tried this firmware, the screen is off a little bit. The bottom of the screen is kind of where the top should be, which isn't super noticeable for most of these apps, but for a few things, it's definitely a problem. It kind of cuts it in half. So I'll try to update this again and see if it fixes it. All right, the screen alignment issue was solved when I rebooted the thing. I basically just pulled out all the power, pulled out the battery and the USB, and now it seems like it's working correctly. Now I have basically all the regular Flipper Zero stuff in here, so we can go through and mess with Bluetooth. We can do infrared things. I'm kind of interested in the LiDAR emulator down here. I'm not actually sure what this does, but it's kind of interesting. We can also go through various remotes, Xbox controllers, and I believe there's a universal remote. We can run some predefined scripts here. We've got bad USB where you can plug this in as a USB keyboard and run commands on a host computer. The sub-gigahertz apps have some predefined stuff here like Flipper Share, modem. You can play music over the little radio system. You can do a radio scanner, and it does actually have a speaker on here so you can actually hear some audio. You can read TPMS, tire pressure monitors, weather stations. Again, this is all pretty standard stuff in some of the better firmwares for the Flipper. Now, under Tools, we have some Kiisu-specific stuff. For example, you can check out the light sensor or the sensor hub, and this has all of the built-in sensors for the Kiisu, as well as a little accelerometer here. The little cat head is kind of the orientation sensor, so if we move the thing around, all of the cat heads will move with it. And then we also have a little digital compass, which is actually pretty useful if it's calibrated correctly. I think I'm going to have to calibrate it. This could be useful for orienting satellite dishes and stuff. We also have some games, and it's got quite a few good ones. It's got Arkanoid in here, and I think you could actually play with the accelerometer if it was configured correctly. I haven't quite figured that out yet. Somebody always asks if little gadgets like this have Doom, and yes it does. It's incredibly difficult to play with the little keyboard, but it is kind of playable. Can we do anything useful with this? Can we read a proximity card, like a door card? Let's try this Pico Pass thing. Yeah, there we go. We've got a key off of that. Can we save it over to this other card? There we go. When I had the Flipper, I was reading the microchips in my cats. Let's see if that still works with this. Come here, kitties. Hi. Sure, all the static from the cat fur is fantastic for the electronics on this. Well, that didn't work very well with Donnie. How about you, Fluff? Let's see. All right, I think I managed to lock it up, so we're gonna have to reboot again. All right, I'm gonna see if I can play one of these music files over. All right, I actually managed to crash the thing with an out-of-memory error. I'm trying this Bluetooth spam app, and yeah, we are definitely getting some spam here. There are a ton of devices popping up on my phone. Also on my desktop computer, which I forgot had Bluetooth. You can do this Find My Flipper app, and this essentially emulates an Apple AirTag. So I think you can do things like, yeah, you can broadcast, you can clone an AirTag, you can basically make up a fake AirTag. Fluff still wants to be involved in the video here. I know it's not super exciting to look at the tiny screen on here in the videos, so I'll just talk about a couple other things that this firmware has. It has the option of doing USB mass storage, so you can actually connect to this. I've got cat hair in it now. You can connect to this over USB and use the TF card or flash card as external storage, and then some of the scripts on here will do things like grab your Windows credentials if it's plugged into a Windows computer, dump those into a text file on the external storage. I'm giving a lot of hypothetical scenarios here, and I'm absolutely not advocating that you do anything illegal or unethical with one of these tools or with the flipper. These are supposed to be security tools. They're designed for your own educational and experimentation, and they're not designed to do anything of a criminal nature, so please don't do that. So here's an example of bad USB, and again, this is not specific to the Kiisu or this firmware. You can do this on a regular flipper as well, but I'm not touching the keyboard. This is all coming from this little gadget here. It just opened up Notepad by itself, and now it's just typing in a bunch of stuff. So yeah, this is the kind of stuff you can do if you preload a bunch of keystrokes and you want to run that on any old computer. You can do it right from your Kiisu or your flipper. Let's see if we can play around with the spectrum analyzer on the Kiisu. I'm going to use Meshtastic's long slow channel so we have the most transmission time and we have the best chance to pick something up. All right, so we'll send a test message. I believe this frequency is supposed to be around 902.0625. I'm not seeing anything happen on the frequency analyzer though. All right, I'm going to see if I can scan over to an FRS frequency, and then I have one of those FRS toy radios in the other room, so we'll see if we can hear it. So now that I have two flipper or flipper-like devices, we can play around with the flipper chat. So this is kind of a radio-based chat that is specific to flippers. So it's somewhat similar to Meshtastic, but on different frequencies and different protocols. And you can set encryption for this. It's definitely very kludgy to try to actually compose and send a message with this. But there we go. Over on the flipper, we've got a little chat going on. When it comes to security auditing tools, there's no real shortage of gadgets and gizmos out there. Of course, we have the Flipper Zero, now the Kiisu, but we have other tools out there like the Hacker F1. I've got this Ghost Scale board that I picked up at the SecretCon convention this summer in Minneapolis. And you can build your own system like my Raspberry Pi Quarter here that uses a Raspberry Pi. It's basically an all-in-one pocket computer that can do essentially all the same things as these other tools, as well as run a full Linux distribution. Now, out of all of these, the Kiisu does stand out because it is the smallest. Now, it's not super robust. If you put it in a wallet long term, I think you would break off some little connectors. You'd have some damage if you tried to carry it in your pocket bare like this, and that's why there are some 3D printed add-ons, some 3D printed closures, which make it less tiny, but a little more robust. The Flipper Zero is certainly a much more robust device that you can just throw in a pocket, you can throw it in a backpack, and it can rattle around in there all day without breaking. Now, the Kiisu does have a few advantages. For instance, it has a suite of built-in sensors. It also has more GPIO pins. You can add that external antenna jack, which is a big improvement over the Flipper. I've seen some side-by-side comparisons where the radio module performs much better with an external antenna, which you would kind of expect. Both of these have internal antennas tuned to about 433 megahertz. So it worked pretty well for things close to that, like FRS radio. When I tried to go too much outside of that and look at things like Meshtastic around 900 megahertz, well, it performed kind of poorly with that, and I think it would perform much better with an antenna tuned to that particular frequency band. If you're doing SDR type stuff, well then a software-defined radio like the HackRF is really the best option for that. But if you do want an all-in-one gadget that does a whole bunch of stuff, that gives you a wide range of tools to play with, you can't really beat this for something that you just put in your wallet, and it's really an everyday carry item. This is something that you won't forget at home, you won't forget at school, you won't forget it at work, because it's basically always with you, just like your credit card. I think when it comes to a side-by-side comparison of these two, the Flipper is a little bit more capable out of the box. It's more user-friendly. The battery life on the Flipper is certainly better. You can add on more stuff to this. You can add on an external battery. You can add on more modules, like I said, and you could make it a little more capable than it is right now. The screen is pretty tiny compared to the Flipper, which is already a small screen, but I still found it perfectly readable. It's definitely cheaper than the Flipper, so if you're just starting out and you don't have the budget for the full-on Flipper Zero, this might be a good alternative. It's available from Rabbit Labs in the US, and I'll put a link to them down in the description. I think in Europe it's available from Rainwalker, but for the US, you can't buy it directly from them because the tariffs change every 5 minutes and nobody really knows what anything imported costs anymore. Last time I looked at it, this cost around $92, but maybe it's changed by now, and it might change depending on what country you're in. I think the Flipper Zero is around $200 right now, but again, that probably depends where you are as well. And I'd actually say if you already have a Flipper Zero like I do, this would be a great companion for it. You could use the Flipper Zero kind of as a initial device to copy your keys, to get your work keys organized. And then if you want something that you actually carry around day to day, you could transfer all that information over to the Kiisu, keep that on you, and have all of the same stuff cloned over from the full-size Flipper Zero. And yeah, they would really complement each other. Again, big thank you to the Kiisu team for sending me the dev board here. This is really fun. It is getting me more interested in Flipper Zero and Flipper alternatives like this, and it's getting me to look into more of the firmware options and some more of the applications for these, which is really cool. So you'll hopefully see more of this in the future as I come up with other things to do with it. I've already thought of a couple practical uses, like that little compass sensor, like some of the radio systems. And if I can figure out how to solder tiny resistors like this, we might play around with the radio module some more and try some really fun things with that. And if you want to see me play with some of these other gadgets like the Raspberry Pi Quarter, the HackRF1, or the original Flipper Zero video, I have videos on all of that stuff on the channel as well, so you can check those out. If you have any suggestions for any of these devices or other devices like this that I could try out, let me know in the comments as well, or you can catch me on Discord. There is a link on the main page of my YouTube channel for the Discord chat. I also have a Patreon if you'd like to support the channel. Finally, thank you to everyone for watching, and we'll see you next time.